Good Fortune, PJ Harvey on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously. Steve, Carl. I've got a real one for you. This is a logic question, not a stupid one. Just very quickly. 10 black balls in a bag and 10 white balls in a bag. Yeah. How many balls do you have to pull out to ensure you've got a pair of the same colour?
Well, what's stopping you putting your hand in and pulling out?
Jesus.
Because
I asked for the minimum number. So how many do you have to pull out to ensure you've got a pair? That doesn't say all of them, that'll ensure it.
No,
what's the minimum number you have to pull out?
11, because if the
Why do you need 11?
What? Because there's 10 black balls, 10 white balls, yeah?
Yeah.
Say if you're, for some reason, you pulled out all the 10 black balls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You'd have a pair, wouldn't you?
You'd have a pair.
After the first 2?
Yeah.
So what's the minimum number you have to pull out to ensure...
2.
No, because you might pull a white one and a black one.
Yeah, but... I don't understand what you're saying.
Sometimes I get that impression, the way you look at me like Helen from Big Brother.
Yeah, but...
I've always assumed that.
Look,
right. What's the minimum number you have to pull out to ensure you have 2 of the same colour?
3.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use that one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So what's the minimum number you have to pull out to ensure you have 4 of the same colour?
Oh, God. 8.
Was that a guess?
I don't know. I understand the first one. We've done it now.
Okay, alright, we'll leave it there.
That's good.
Good. Okay. Now
White van, Carl?
this is, yeah, this is where we...
Oh, it's too much.
If you'd have seen his face then, Steve, his eyebrows sort of went down while you were doing that face. He genuinely looked pained.
It's like you're back at school, isn't it?
It's starting to get hard work now.
No, okay, we'll just do White Van Carl then. This is your opinions. You can't be wrong on this, can you?
There's no right or wrong answer here. Okay.
Right.
But so this is where we ask Carl his views on the big news stories of the week. Basically, we've stolen an idea from the Sun newspaper, and
so this isn't cruel, this programme, is it?
Oh, I don't think so.
Picking on me.
It's not, is it?
It's weird because a few people have said, "Oh, you're picking on me." It depends how you look at things, isn't it?
Yeah, but you do like it?
We could look at it like it's a laugh, so it's not a problem for us.
You know, we like you. You know, you're our favourite.
Yeah.
I'm going to say thing in the world, but I don't mean that, you know, in a derogatory way.
No, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So your views, please, on the fact that attitudes are changing to the possible marriage of Charles and Camilla.
Oh, what do you think of
that? The roars at the moment, because of recent tragedies, are apparently high in the polls, and people are coming around to the idea of Charles and Camilla getting hitched. What's your thought?
Whatever, really. I mean, if they're happy with it. The thing that comes out of it most is it just goes to show, right, that there is someone for everyone. Just because, I mean, no disrespect to Camilla, I'm not a good-looking person either, but she isn't a stunner, and yet she's gone and picked up a royal. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good for things like that to happen, because it cheers you up. Do you know what I mean? Gives you a bit of hope.
Thanks, Carl.
So yeah, it's good. You know, if they're happy. If anyone's happy, it's a good story, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he's had a bit of bad luck. And now he's got someone else in his life, so...
While he's doing this, I'm just doing a list of questions to ask him what he thinks of things in the world.
Okay.
Is that alright?
Yeah, no problem. Okay, what do you make of... Well, now listen, this may be a non-story, or it may be the biggest story that's about to break. Ulrika Jonsson and Sven-Goran Eriksson's affair. Are you familiar with this? It's over the papers today. Apparently, Ulrika and Sven are going out, although there appears to be no evidence for this.
Yeah, I don't even give it time of day.
Do you know quite right? Well done.
Doesn't affect me whatsoever, as long as he does his job well.
Yep.
And what's she doing at the moment?
Presenting Dog Eat Dog, I think.
Right, you know.
As long as she does her job.
As long as they both do their jobs well.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, that's going on with a lot of people out in the world, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just because he's an England boss, as long as, you know, we win the games and that, he's doing his job. If she's, you know, gets a dog winning a prize or whatever.
No, okay. It's not worth it. Carry on.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
It's a dog winning a prize.
I haven't seen Dog Eat Dog. What's it
Okay,
about?
it's alright. It's
Right,
no, go on.
so that's it, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, what about this then? Are you disappointed by the nation that a third of us are apparently unaware of St. George's Day?
23rd.
Is St. George's Day the one with the snakes that we've talked about?
No, that's...
Are you one of that third, do you think?
St George is the patron saint of England who killed the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many of these days, isn't there? That's the problem. If you make it a bit more special, like Christmas, so you buy presents and that for each other, then people will remember it. But there's so many of these days, with Easter and Pancake Tuesday and all that. So, it's not surprising. I think as time goes on, we'll find that a lot of these days will just disappear, because, you know, people are busy.
There'll be new ones, won't there?
I don't know, people
There'll
are
be
that
like
busy.
Gareth Gates Day in 50 years' time.
It's just weird. I mean, I remember being a kid, right? Going out on a Sunday and shops would be shut because it was like, you know, the day of rest and all that. People don't care now. It's like, well, we can make some more money, we'll open the shops.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Is that a
all
good or a
about-
bad thing, Carl?
It's good, because I remember I used to have to get up early to go and get some bread if we didn't have any in. Because the shop would only be open for a couple of hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'd be able to...
Yeah, I remember
lie in.
that. I remember that. Shops shut. And you couldn't get aspirin and stuff,
Exactly.
certain things,
A nightmare
yeah.
on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So-
That's right, yeah. And pubs didn't open till 12.
Do you remember space operas?
Yeah. Yeah, shut up. Can I ask you something?
Go on.
Okay, I've got a little list of things. What do you think of, like, those pug dogs that are bred and they can hardly breathe?
Evil.
Yeah. What do you think of, gays?
They're alright. Do you know what I mean? Just like straight people, you get bad ones, you get good ones.
Exactly.
Right?
We've learned a lesson today, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Let's play a record.
Yeah? What do you fancy? A bit of Radiohead?
Yeah.
You don't mind, though, if people think we're gay, for instance, when we go to the BAFTAs
No,
tomorrow?
that's terrible. I don't want that happening.
Why?
Hey?
Why?
Because I'm not. That'd be a lie. I don't like lying. If I was, I'd say I was gay,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
We'll say you were, just pretend.
We won't get in otherwise.
No.
Just a little kiss and a cuddle.
So I'm a bit gay.
No. I'm not gay.
On XFM 104.9. Wow, near the end of the show, isn't it? You had a good time, Carl?
It's been alright. I knew it wasn't going to be a belter today.
Why? What do you mean? What's up with it?
Because what happens, the last 2 weeks have been quite good, and we always tend to have two good ones, and then one that's just alright.
Well, let the listening public be the judge of that.
Well, yeah,
What do you-
and the Sony committee.
Yeah, what do you want to do? A clip show of the best... We should do that for our last show. People should vote for their favourite hilarious link.
Yeah.
And then we can put it together on a tape. Right? Is there a rock on it there that wants to release the bit like, I love...
Including
Ricky's
such
theme.
favourites as, do you like gays?
And, this lad, he had a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I scored once, I was stung by a bee. Oh, and who can forget? That's lovely. Should you do that? Can you have you kept all these on tape?
Yeah.
So can you do a compilation?
Oh, it's
People
hard-
phone in.
it's hard work,
No,
though.
the next 2 weeks, phone in for your favourite clip. Carl, how can they get hold of you, Carl, in the week? What's your
direct
email? What's your
mobile
email?
number?
What's your
It's
email?
it's my name with xfm.co.uk.
So, Carl Pilkington.
Carl.Pilkington.
Carl
With
dot...
a K. Carl with a K.
Yeah. Carl.Pilkington at xfm.co.uk.
Yeah.
Vote your favourite link of the last 3 months, and we should make a little compilation and sell it. And we get like Radiohead. They'd love to be on the compilation with us, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they?
Oh, well.
Anyway,
Yeah.
right, do you know, like, you're always giving me questions in the week, you're always saying things like, if I put you in this situation, what would you do?
Like what? Like what?
The bizarre things.
Like what though? Say one.
If you had to lick Barbara Cartland's face,
Yeah.
would it be the right cheek or the left cheek? Or
Sorry, does Barbara want her face being lit? No, I'm just saying if that's what she's into, then I don't
She's
mind
dead.
popping...
She's dead. Yeah.
So,
Isn't she?
she?
Isn't she?
I don't think she
Just
is.
be careful, because you can't libel the dead, so I want to make sure she's dead before we start saying horrendous things.
But I don't think she is dead. I'm almost certain she's not.
I don't think so.
No, she's not.
Phone it, is Barbara Cartland dead? 08700 800 1234.
We'll have to get Chris in. So listen, right? So anyway, he always calls up with like bizarre stuff like that. And I was watching a program the other night about snakes,
Right.
and it was like, don't walk through a river that's full of snakes, because
Good work, good advice.
if you got a kid in the car or in the house, turn your radio down if you don't want them to hear stuff like this. But, yeah, they go for your tackle.
Why?
I don't know, they just do.
They think it's another little snake.
Maybe.
With swollen cheeks.
Earrings.
With earrings, yeah.
So,
Or an anaconda in my case.
With one eye.
I'm really joking.
So yeah, and I said to Ricky, what would you do? Right?
Well, it's very scaly.
You two in the woods. You're having a wander, Steve. Having a wander.
Oh yeah.
You walk through the river.
What, me?
And yeah.
Okay.
Because you're tall, so it's like you can check out how deep it is before Ricky goes through.
Right.
Yeah?
Which you do. You do that sometimes, don't you?
Yeah. But a snake bites your tackle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
say penis.
yeah.
It's the correct word for it. It's not offensive.
It doesn't sound nice.
Say it.
Penis, but I don't.
Oh,
like
you
the sound of
dirty
it.
little, dirty little slut, Carl. You're a dirty
It's
little.
just one of those words.
Right,
Yeah.
carry on with let's carry on. What's the story? I'm wandering through a river.
Yeah, and the snake bites your penis.
Right.
And
You know, Ricky, doesn't leave, WC1. Why on earth we're going to be anywhere near a river where there's sort of...
Well, anyway,
Snakes.
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
you are in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
The snake bites you, and I said to Ricky, if it was a matter of life or death, would you suck out the poison? What do you think he said? And the bit I made, because he was thinking about it, oh God, well, he's my best mate and everything, what will I do? And I said, and then Steve starts sort of groaning like he's enjoying it.
I'm just trying to remember what I did do. What did happen in that instant?
Yeah.
So I've been bitten on the penis by a snake.
Yeah, there's poison in
There's
your
no poison in it.
Yeah.
I've had a go at trying to suck it out myself.
Yeah. Yeah, but
That's not
you've
worked.
never mastered that
I've
one
never been
yet.
able to master that.
Yeah. It's just a long spine and such a short, stubby knob that he's got no chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to get...
He's even had lip extensions, haven't you? Yeah, go on.
And would Ricky suck it out? Almost certainly not.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, he'd let me die a hideous, horrible
I'd
death.
go, is there anyone you want a towel? Do you want me to call your mum and dad?
Yeah.
How shall I tell them you died? Is they tell them I died taking a bullet for a lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was beating up some nasty people.
Yeah. Would you at least run into the woods and try and find some kind of animal that could do it for me? Some of those monkeys look like they got a good technique.
Right.
Stop it.
One more song.
Yeah.
Only time for song for the what's it?
Oh, we got to share this one then. But we're doing this one.
There was two.
No, we've run out of time.
Well, this is in the Guardian because they print my favourite song is If You See a Sailor. It's If You See a Say Hello, Bob Dylan.
Okay.
A song for the ladies and lovers.
Right, that's it.
And I can't believe we weren't allowed to talk about monkeys giving blowjobs. Since when is that taboo? It's nature, Carl.
They go absolutely mental.
They love it. Absolutely.
Stone Roses on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Carl Pilkington for the last time,
Indeed.
I'm afraid.
Yes.
So, we're going to have a little bit of a chat. We're sewing up some things with Carl.
Indeed.
We're giving away that prize, that BAFTA bag, and,
Playing some great music.
And we're just, I'm bringing in my favourite tunes. I'm bringing the Smiths, Radiohead, Cat Stevens, David Bowie, Neil Young, the classics. Steve's doing the same.
Indeed.
Well, Carl, the last time apparently, someone's got it a bit wrong. We're not actually away for 6 weeks. We're away for about, we'll be back in, August, won't we?
Bloody hell.
Yeah. No, don't swear.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
On the last show, you have to say that.
Already brought the tone down.
Yeah.
Cheapened it.
And I think it's blasphemous as well.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, hell isn't, is it?
Isn't it?
No, I don't think that's not blasphemy, is it?
Taking hell's name in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it you were saying the other week about the Queen Mum used to have the right mouth on her?
What?
I don't think we said that on air, Carl.
What?
No, but last week you were saying about bad language, and I was saying, there'll come a time when bad language isn't, doesn't matter anymore. You can F and Jeff and stuff.
Oh, I know what he's talking about, Steve.
Really?
Right, let me explain to you, the listener at home. Carl was worried about swearing, and as a joke, off air, it was last week, we were saying that in the 1940s and 50s, the Queen Mum used to say things like, and we were quoting things she'd said,
Yeah.
like, I'm saying, but putting F's and C's in there, and you believed us.
So this whole week you've believed that we somehow had knowledge that the Queen Mum used to swear like a trooper?
We were doing fake quotes from her in her voice, but putting in F's and C's, and you believed us. I mean, I didn't even think, I thought you were going along with a joke, but it obviously made an impact.
Carl, we've said this, you've got to question and query everything. You can't take things at face value, certainly not if they come out of the mouths of Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, sorry about that, Carl. It was a little trick.
Is there any other things now that, as
Is
you
there
look back
anything
over
we've
the
said that
time
you've been
we've
thinking
spent
about
with
that
us?
I can tell you now that was a lie?
Anything you've maybe queried or questioned, you know, you've thought, oh, that doesn't seem right, that maybe Ricky's told you?
Something might come to me
Okay.
later on, but...
Okay. Well, what about, Carl, I mean, we love you, right, obviously, we know that, and we've got great affection for you, we look forward to this, I'm gonna miss you, really, and I'll tell you what, you've got a heart of gold. Now, wait till you see what the record is, Steve, and you'll see what I've done.
Is it Heart of Gold?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, that's why he's a bronze award winner at the Sonys.
I don't get up for bronze. I don't get out of bed for bronze.
No, that's a waste of our time.
Bob Pilkington over there on XFM 104.9. Winner of a bronze award
At the Sony Radio Awards.
The Radio Oscars. So
Man
Phil
alive.
Jupiter said. That's what he called them on Liquid News.
I'll tell you this, Rick, I'm not used to being on a table with losers at an award ceremony.
No, I'm glad. I didn't want to come in to do the final show.
No.
You know, I went straight over and sat with Pete and Jeff, didn't I?
Yeah. I went
In
over to
Radio
the,
4. I went over with Paul Gambaccini.
I went over
That's
to BBC World Service.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
a lot funkier. A lot
Yeah.
cooler.
Won an award.
Yeah,
won an
they
award.
swept the boards.
Yeah. Bronze is nowhere.
What was the mood? What was the mood here?
Silver's, what was the mood here?
Because the day after, because people were, I mean, let me tell you now, I think XFM deserved an award, and I thought it was criminal, actually.
But what I did like about that we certainly had the room, because Pete and Jeff said good luck to us and Christian, that was really nice. And then someone else mentioned it,
James Nesbitt.
James Nesbitt said XFM and stuff, so it certainly had the...
Gambaccini said something about it.
Yeah,
Did
so
he?
it certainly,
Gamba?
it certainly had the room. And for a local, you've got to realise it's a local radio station, you know, and it can't compete really with Radio 2 and Radio 4 and
But
all
what was the
sorts.
mood the day after, here at XFM?
It was alright. I mean, I think we expected a few more,
But
but...
you shouldn't take these things seriously anyway.
But
They're
what
very
I did- yeah, but
flattering,
what I
you
didn't
never
realise,
take
Rick-
awards seriously.
But what I didn't realise is you have to pay thousands of pounds just to nominate.
You're joking.
Just to get into the running for an award. So you've already, you know, they've squandered thousands of pounds.
No, it's
just
not
to
thousands,
It
is
is.
it?
Well, it mounts up because you pay to enter.
And then the table.
You've got to buy, like, mini-discs and that to send your stuff in on. Which
Sure.
ends up with Sony mini-discs.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Carl.
I'm not saying anything.
No.
And also then you've got to pay for the table
Right.
and the food and the drink. I mean, it's a few grand.
I swore on live television as well that night.
Yeah.
But I've never done that before. I mean, I've sworn before, but never accidentally. And we were being interviewed for, and Christian was sort of like, quite, you know, being a bit boisterous, and he must have brought out the worst in me, and I just accidentally said the F word, and I apologised straight away. I didn't want to embarrass Phil Dupas. He was doing a
He
good
does
job.
that himself, yeah.
but I was thinking about yesterday, and you're saying a bronze isn't worth having, right?
Yeah.
But, say like...
We're only joking. None of them are worth having, but they're very nice. They're very nice to
No,
win.
bronze is
and it's-
pointless.
But you say that, because, like, bronze is like coming last, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the name of the person who won the marathon this year? No.
Yeah, but that's because we're not sporty. I'm sure there's lots that can.
But
Yeah.
then, the guy who came last, who was in the swimsuit, people remember him. And
No, I don't remember his name either.
No, what's his name?
No, but he was 6 days late. I mean, he was really
Yeah, but
bad.
what's his name then?
You see, well, no one's remembering either.
No, but if someone said who won the marathon, I'd go, I don't know, but there was that guy in the swimsuit.
Well, I'd say I don't know. It was a woman.
Yeah.
She had shorts on and trainers.
I'm just trying to make...
My point is, what they will remember is that we were losers. That's what they remember. They may not remember our names.
Yeah.
They'll just point and shout losers.
We're all winners, aren't we? We're all winners, really.
For taking part, sure.
Yeah.
And it's all subjective as well, isn't it?
Go on.
I mean, I'm not going to moan about awards because you've won a lot of them. It's like saying they don't mean jack. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right, there's some shows that won awards and you go, yeah, that's, you know, that's worth an award.
I think you've got to treat it. I mean, some awards actually boost your profile or career or your cachet or anything like that. Some it's just a nice night out when it's nice to win, but I don't think you should really take any award that seriously.
What worries me though, Rick, as I mentioned on the night, is that when I was at school, I mean, you look at me now, you probably think he's an athletic kind of guy, he's a sporty dude, you know, but at school, bizarrely, that was not the case.
No, what were you, a bit of a lanky beanpole?
It turns out,
We're joking.
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So, but yeah, I got a silver in the high jump.
Yeah.
And I've done better in the high jump, right? Did no training whatsoever, did no practice, just turned up.
You were 2.5 foot taller than every other person in your class.
Yeah, but wait a minute, people think that if you're tall, that makes you easier, it makes it easier for you to do the high jump. Surely not, because I've got all that leg to get over the pole. That makes it harder for me, surely.
Don't talk rubbish.
What are you talking about?
Well, of course, the taller you are, the more chance you got at the high jump.
What, explain that to me.
Oh, what? Are you okay then? So, is it harder for a 6-foot man to step over a matchbox or a baby midget?
A baby midget? That is tiny, Rick.
Hang on. Here's something I've learned, remember?
Go on.
Back to, like, show 4 or whatever.
Go on.
What is it?
What?
The flea can jump over the London Eye?
No! No, it can jump the equivalent of, if it was a 6-foot man, it can jump about 6 inches high. A flea cannot jump over the London Eye.
Yes, it can. Yeah, it can.
And
Tell your kids that.
God. Oh.
Remember.
Oh, a flea can jump over the London Eye. And an ant can lift 3 Volvos.
But you're talking about fitness people and that. Remember
Go on.
when we were in the pub, right?
Yeah.
And your mate Johnny was in there.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that guy who got done, right? Because he entered a wheelchair race.
Yeah.
And and there was nothing wrong with him. His legs were all right.
Yeah.
Now, he got done because he shouldn't have been involved in it.
Yeah.
But don't you think that really he's really good for doing that? Because he's not normally in a wheelchair.
Sure.
So he's not used to how they move about.
Yeah.
His arms aren't as strong as the other fellas who are always in the wheelchair.
Sure. He had his mate pushing him, that was the problem.
Yeah, it was motorised.
I'd give him a gold plus. You know, you're taking a bloke who's not used to doing something. He does it the first time and beats the people who are at it.
What about that woman, though, that was disqualified in the shooting, because she was in a wheelchair, and she was just in the normal, able-bodied Olympics, it was just she ended right, but she wasn't allowed to rest her elbow on the arm of her chair, because that was something disadvantage. She was in a wheelchair, and she's shooting, but she was getting unfair advantage, and they said, you cannot put your elbow on the arm of your
Sneaky,
wheelchair.
aren't they? No, they are. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Do you want to play
Some of them aren't even disabled, it turns out.
Hold on, though. We're talking about athletes, aren't we? What record should we play next?
I'd love to hear that single that was out a couple of months back by Athlete. Let's have Athlete. Man alive. West Side by Athlete, a track that I know you and I have enjoyed.
Yeah, it was one of our favourite new tracks of the year, that one. Yeah,
absolutely.
Very good. More of our favourite tracks to come on XFM 104.9.
You know,
me, Richard Gervais, and you,
Steve Merchant,
and
Carl Perkinson.
Sure, go on.
You know, I was mentioning the high jump. High jump. Do you know the reason I didn't get the gold? It's faintly embarrassing, because the guy it was just neck and neck, me and another guy. In fact, he was slightly shorter than I was. And I was using the traditional Fosby flop. Is it the Fosby flop?
Fosby flop.
And he was using a method, which I can only describe as the Superman, where he was running at the bar and diving headfirst over it. I've never seen this technique before.
It's illegal, that's why.
incredible. Is it not allowed?
The Fosby flop only works because his shoulder and are going over before his head.
Right.
That's they got around the rule. You weren't allowed to dive over because it was
obviously no one monitoring that.
Yeah, no
Just
one.
the games teachers having a quick fag.
Yeah. What was his name again?
The
fag.
I think his name was Mr. Woodbine. Anyway, so he's using this method, right, and it gets neck and neck, and I don't know how many chances you get to knock down the bar, but anyway, it got to the point where basically I had to get over the bar, or I was going to come second.
Sure.
And I decided at that point to use his method, because he'd seemed to be doing so well with it, I thought, well, I'll try that then, that looks easy.
Oh, dear.
And ran at the bar, launched, didn't actually get my feet off the ground, just hit the bar like I was someone finishing a race, you know.
Did you have...
It's so that it just battered everywhere.
I just want to get this picture of you at the age of, what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
6'5" already, probably?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Probably, what, about 9 stone?
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you have your glasses on?
Of course I did.
You must have looked pretty sexy.
Probably a small bum fluff tash.
Yeah.
As well.
That must have been good. Was it true once, when you were about 16, you decided to wear a dicky bow to school?
Yeah.
That must have been great.
That was during my PG Woodhouse phase.
It's not. You thought you'd be a hit with the ladies if you were more sophisticated.
Well, not only that, I thought it'd make me kind of kooky and eccentric.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't already. 6'7", goggle-eyed.
Yeah.
Like they're not already thinking there goes a weirdo. Oh, he's a weirdo with a bow tie.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Does it spin round, mate?
Yeah, what a
'Cause you're
catch.
getting me hot.
Exactly.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I wore that for about 6 months, and it was in school colours, because we had to wear a tie at school, but this was a bow tie. I mean, now I don't, oh, man.
I can't believe
I don't know what I was
Carl,
thinking.
when you were, a little Pilkington, right? What was, if you had hair, what would it be like?
What do you mean?
Well, you obviously had hair then, back then. What was the, style?
It was like, sort of, I had quite sort of, fine, sort of straight hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Hairdresser once said to me, "You've got hair of a Chinaman."
He was a wise man, wasn't he? What do you think that meant then? Oh.
He just said, he just said, "You've got the same hair as a Chinese man has. Very straight, quite fine."
Why is he telling you? I just imagine this pal going, "Oh, the Arsenal did well, didn't it, sir?" Shall I have something on that? You have the hair of a Chinaman. I'm sorry, nothing. You're not the spy. No, I'm not. Thank you. Good night. Oh,
You're not my contact.
yeah, lovely. You have the feet of a fish. I'm sorry, nothing. It's not you. Okay, next. You have the hair of a Chinaman.
It was one of those barbers. It was a cheap one, just on a railway bridge.
I don't believe that. Go on.
On a railway bridge?
That's why it was cheap. It was very low rent, so he could charge.
That wasn't a
50p.
barber, that was a man with some scissors.
Yeah. Did you go, "Oh, I have to move you there, sir"? Wow. Okay, back in the chair, sir.
I imagine them on one of those things you always see in old films where you've got to,
You have to
press
pump it
down
up
on
and
that
down,
thing
yeah,
so it
like a
travels along the
seesaw.
track.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as that. It was just a normal chair, little wooden hut, and he did have to stop when a train came past because it used to.
Well, because he had to change the signal.
Just making a few extra
Yeah,
bucks.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love
That's
that.
Manchester for you.
Oh, God.
I always
it
remember
wasn't Bernard Cribbins, was it?
I always remember him saying, "Do you want your hair washing?" And I said, "Is it free? You know, does it come with it?" And he said, "Yeah." So I said, "Oh, go on then." He said, "Hang on now, I'll just have to wash these mugs up." He had like a sink full of mugs.
Oh,
So I'll just
God.
take these out and then I can wash your head.
Oh, no.
And that's why.
Why did you go to this man?
It was cheap. It was
How
like
much was it?
About £2.
And when was this?
God, at 88, 89.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happened to your Chinese hair? When did it start coming out?
You have the hair of a bald Chinaman now, don't you?
You've got the hair of a Chinaman in a box now.
I used to just work a lot of hours, and I think,
That's what made it fall out.
yeah, of course.
No, it's not. It's genetic. You can't stop
Not
it, no.
genetic.
Of course it is.
Your dad not? No, he's got more hair than me now, I think.
Is your mum?
Kojak's got more hair than you, Carl.
Anyway,
Don't have a go at Carl's hair, that's a bit harsh.
Oh, look at his little
what
face.
did he say before in that book about going bald? It said, it had a little tip, didn't it? We'll go over them later.
It says, if you're going thin, doesn't it say, cut your hair short and something like that?
So it makes you look thicker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got people are offering Carl lots of. We're coming up to that. In
Yeah,
a
well,
few
we'll go through that.
minutes.
So obviously we
to win that BAFTA bag.
Shall I remind people what the competition was?
Yeah.
Last week we were giving away this bag that we got signed by various celebrities at the BAFTAs, and we asked you to email or write in with your suggestions as to what you have that you could swap for the bag, and it has to be something that will enhance Carl's life. We've had quite a lot of suggestions. I'll go through those a bit later, but they're some of them are quite eccentric.
Meanwhile, I'm going to play one of my favourite songs off one of my favourite albums.
I look forward to hearing it.
It's Radiohead, it's the Bends, and this is Black Star.
Go for it.
Sugar Cubes.
Hit.
Yeah, on XFM 104.9. Our last show till August.
Absolutely.
Sorry about that, we'll miss it. We can't avoid it really, we've got to go away and do some filming. And, they're only going to miss you anyway, Carl. They can do without us now.
Zoe Ball's on.
Yeah, Zoe Ball. And who else is after her? She's not doing the whole run, is she?
Yeah, I think so.
Is she doing the whole 3 months, is she?
Yeah.
Tell her not to get too comfortable.
Uh-huh.
Right? Don't let her feet, and don't let Big Boy Slim come in with her, because he mixes up the records, doesn't he? And ruins them.
Yeah. Hey, talking of DJing,
Go on.
you know I did that storming set the other night
Well, yeah.
for XFM.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Go on.
This was down at a little club, in case you weren't aware of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went to the Sony's the other night.
Yeah.
Carl Pilkington sidles up to me, slips me an envelope.
Go on.
Oh, 200 big ones in there.
Did he get paid cash for that?
Yeah.
200 pounds! Taxman won't know about that. Cash in hand.
No, the tax won't know, because I mean, obviously no one who ever works in tax is listening to local radio.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, so,
No, the taxman will know about it.
yeah.
Because I'll declare it.
I would.
Put it, yeah, it's going straight down. I'll do it when I get home. Do it when I get in later on.
And don't write off rubbish that you buy anyway, like, you know.
No, I won't. I'll do it all above board officially. Fill it all in correctly. And so I'll send it now, I'll send it tomorrow so that you get it early. So it's not too busy for you, sir.
Oh, never mind. Oh, yeah, also, did you see, Liquid News last night?
No. What is Liquid News? I don't really watch
It's
Liquid
the thing on, Choice, right, and it's, sort of celebrity news, yeah? And, Julian Clary, was on, and, they were talking about the Sony Awards the night before, which we went to, and they said, something like, a relatively unknown had won the Entertainment Award that we were up for, and Christian and Chris Moyles and Jonathan Ross said that, beating off bigger people, not he was beating off bigger people. They weren't suggesting he was.
Was Julian Clary beating off other guys? Yeah.
Yeah. And it said, so, the people who didn't win resorted to silliness. And it cut, right? I don't know where the camera was, it must have been miles away, because it wasn't us. Cut to me making a little hat for you out of a Budweiser box, a little dialect thing, and then forcing it on your head, and you sort of struggling. Do you remember that?
I do remember it.
Yeah. They're always
Well,
watching.
they were filming us.
They were filming it, yeah.
Scary.
So, yeah.
That's really scary, because some of the things we were doing.
Because I was tying scarves around your head, wasn't I? We were
touching Carl in an intimate way.
We were gaying him up.
Gaying him
weren't we,
up.
to make him feel all uncomfortable and everything. Because he doesn't like that sort of thing, do you?
Can't stand it.
We're going to be giving you a cuddle about 5 to 3, seriously. We are going to...
On the way out.
And I've got roaming hands.
Yeah.
Do you know them girls who came up from the Radio Academy and sort of said, oh, so you're Carl then?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. A couple of fans went up to Carl.
Just on the way out, I said to him again, I said, look, I'm not gay. Because they were convinced I was.
That's because if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we teased Carl that he had to go as Steve's partner, to the BAFTAs, and they really meant partners. You know, after the show, when he was walking home, he was going to go buy his suit, I actually said, they will ask you. He went, well, what if they say, and as we walk in, Steve Merchant and his boyfriend Carl, well, they won't say that as you walk in, they might overdub it on the television, so he's going, well, what about my mates in Manchester? And he said, I'm not going. The risk of someone in Manchester thinking that he was going out with you, mind you, it was probably
All right,
going,
calm down,
if he was
Rick,
gonna
I see where you're going with that.
if you were gonna be gay, you wouldn't choose Steve, would you?
No.
Who would you choose if you were gay?
If you could go out with any bloke, who would it be?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You've thought about it before.
Go on. No, of course not. No, who would it be? If, you know, if you were gay, what bloke would you go out with?
God. Probably, Jonathan Ross is alright.
You gay! You fancy Jonathan Ross, you Bender! Oh, Bender!
Rossi!
Bender.
Oh, you've got his number, haven't you? We should get contact.
I love you, Jonathan, you!
Hello, Jonathan, I love your film show. You're so funny and handsome and welcome.
Teacher Educating Ricky, which is a bit of a play on words as well. Right. Do you know the film, Steve?
Educating Rita.
Yeah.
I see what you've done. Go on.
I'm doing that, and I teach Ricky stuff.
What do you teach me, Carl?
Well, I've got a few different topics.
Go on.
Do you know, like how you taught me about Hitler and Che Guevara and Winston Churchill? I'm going to come in with topics every week, and this week I've got,
Ghosts?
No, hanging bacon is one of the topics.
Say that again?
Hanging bacon.
Hanging bacon.
All the titles.
Francis Bacon.
No, all the titles are sort of named to sort of tease you and get you more interested in it.
Hanging bacon. Well, you've certainly intrigued
Go
me.
on, what's another title one?
Hairy Chinese kid.
I'm gonna go for that one.
If there was a university degree with that title.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for Hairy Chinese Kid,
And
I think.
the final one,
Yeah.
Alien gives man a beard.
Right.
Alien gives man a beard.
I am gonna burst. Right, listen, Carl, you've gotta tell me. Right, first, right, let's do it in
No,
reverse
we're
order.
not gonna do it now anyway.
What do you mean? We've got to do it now. I mean, this is the first interesting thing you've said in an hour. Okay, the listeners have just been subjected to rubbish and mistakes and everything for the last 6 months. Please, we've got to do Alien gives man a beard. What is that? Tell us that.
Right.
Sorry, this is just you telling me something, is it? This feature is you telling me something.
Well, teaching you something. Educating Ricky.
So are we playing it now? We're already into this feature, well into this feature, are we?
Yeah, I suppose we are, yeah.
Should there not be a jingle or something?
Yeah, can we have a
Well, there's
jingle?
no point, because look, I come up with ideas and you dismiss them straight away, so I'm not wasting my time making stuff.
Right.
If you don't like
well, okay,
it.
let's play Educating Ricky.
Right.
Brilliant. Go. Right.
Right, so-
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Educating Ricky.
Right, what we going for then? Hanging the bacon, airy Chinese kid, alien gives man a beard.
I think Alien gives man a beard.
I'd like to do that.
Right, there's this fella, I think it happened in America, and he saw a bright light in the sky. And,
God, if you're bored.
and he stood there,
This is a true story, is it?
yeah, he stood there,
Yes, of course it isn't, Steve.
and he saw this bright light, and it came closer and closer, and it was a UFO, right?
Yep.
And he looked at it, and it disappeared, right? And he gets back in his car,
He looks in the mirror.
and he looks in the mirror.
Yep.
He's only got a beard.
He has.
You sure it wasn't someone else who got in the car? And he was still standing out there?
No, right?
What?
And it turned out,
Yeah.
he got home and said to his wife or his girlfriend, it's a bit weird. So I just got out of the car to look at a bright light, and I got back in the car and grew a beard, and she said, never mind your beard, where have you been for 3 days? And what had happened is,
He passed out because he was pissed.
no, the UFO had taken him for 3 days,
Yeah.
but he'd only thought that he'd only looked at it and it went away.
Yeah.
But what had happened is, he took him, and
Yeah.
he grew a beard because he hasn't had a shave.
Right, okay. I mean, was Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones anything to do with this at all? Did you see this on a video maybe and thought it was an educational film?
No, it's from a book that some kind person sent in to me. Here.
Can I just ask again, just again, I'm just throwing this right back at you. Do you think there's any other possible answer here? Right, a man is absent for 3 days from home.
He's grown a
length
beard.
of time that it could take to grow a beard, lest we forget. What if he hadn't actually seen a bright light in the sky?
What if he was
he'd been
lying? What if
drunk?
he was lying?
He'd got knocked unconscious. He'd had a car crash.
Just
any number
lying.
of other
No,
things.
just lying.
Or he was just lying.
Yeah, he'd been on a bender, getting pissed for 3
Yeah,
days
and that
with
was
his
his
mates.
excuse to his wife.
And they went, Dennis, what are you gonna tell your wife?
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, wait a minute,
Oh,
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
She's not going to believe I was out with you, lads.
Just say you're only away for a minute. No, I wasn't away from it because of the beard. Oh yeah, it looks like you've been out for 3 days. Well, we have, that's
Exactly.
right, okay, we've got to cover that then. Alien abduction?
Great one.
Okay, let's try that.
Do you see? That's a little scenario there that could have been played.
So, when you say educating Ricky, what have I learnt from this? Never listen to you again. That's all I've learnt so far. Never listen to you.
Yeah, we'll add a little bit more in here, right? To
Well,
spice this
no,
up.
what do you mean add a little bit more?
We'll add a bit more to this what I'm educating you about,
Go on.
right? There's only a law in America that says if you touch a UFO, you're gonna get done. Now, why would they make a rule? I don't know that, do you know, like, all their rules have a code?
Carl, I genuinely do not know what you're talking about.
Right, do you know, like, how here they might have...
Do you know
I
what?
have no idea.
Right,
Okay.
do you know, like, over
Rick,
here...
I'm listening to Capital on these headphones. I got Foxy on from yesterday.
Right, let's bin that.
No way, it's great. No,
I want to hear about airy Chinese kid. But we've got, thanks for staying, listening. Right, okay, educating Ricky. What have we got? Airy Chinese kid, go on.
Right, yeah, this is the, I didn't want to do this.
Do you really want to do it?
Well, I wanted to give you 3, and I gave you one. It was like the alien man gets a beard or whatever.
Yeah.
And-
Which was total rubbish, so this one should be better, maybe.
Hey, Chinese kid. Right, well, we've talked about airy people in the past,
True enough.
haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, the little kids who grew up in woods and hung around with wolves and that.
Yeah, again, you're confusing it. Yeah, they're not, there were some people that were born very hirsute. They were not the people who were brought up with wolves. You just put that together in your Homer Simpson type mind.
Right, well, this is like a sort of close to that sort of story.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, right, Chinese people aren't that hairy as a nation. No, seriously, that's a well-known fact. They don't have that much body hair and stuff.
Okay.
So this little kid who was born over there, he was like covered in stuff,
Was he?
and it was only his nose that wasn't hairy. The rest of his body was caked in hair, right? And his hair sort of
What
grew.
sort of hair was it? Was
thick hair.
No, what I mean is, was it sort of, like a pony's mane, so he just looked like an Ewok? You know what I mean? Just like hanging down sort of straight,
Well,
dark
it
hair.
looked, in the picture, it looked like it
was
grows
it
from
downy?
his eyebrow. It grows from his eyebrows quite thick, and then it just goes all the way over
You
his
don't
head.
think it was just really long eyebrows that he'd done a comb over?
No, it was all over his body. It had a picture of, like, his back and that.
Yeah.
And,
Had he styled it? Had he styled it at all? Did he have it in a quiff or?
no, it was just
hanging everywhere.
all over him.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, this is a bit weird, happening in China, where we're not normally that airy.
That was the scientist speaking there.
Yeah.
And the local press and that were getting him down, calling him Monkey Boy and all this.
Oh,
And,
thinking Chinese press.
but the doctor,
Yeah. Oh.
They're cruel, aren't they?
the
It's like
doctor,
those game shows.
well,
That's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
and the doctor said,
I was Carl talking through all that time while we were just like talking to each other then. Because I turned round and I still saw he was talking. Go
So
on.
anyway, the local press came down to see the hairy boy, the monkey
yeah,
boy.
and they were like being tight, taking the mickey out of him, and the doctor said,
Showing him nuts.
he's only airy. Said, he's a healthy young kid. The only faults he's got is he's got a little bit of eczema and a boil. And he said everybody should just treat him the same, and I think he grew up a healthy kid. Yeah, so that's the,
That's
the end of the story.
That's not a story.
why?
But I've got nothing. I don't know what to say to that. So someone in China was born slightly hairier than the rest, and he was normal apart from eczema and a boil. That to me isn't a story. But if it is, I've got a million. I mean, it's sort of like bloke from Manchester went a bit bolder than the rest, got a job on radio. He was normal. I mean, that's not a story, is it? Do you know what I mean?
All right then.
Hang on.
Hold on, he's got the big guns. You're not going to give us hanging bacon, are you?
Yeah.
Come on then, come on then,
Right.
come
This is the one
on,
we've been looking
come
forward
on.
to. This is it.
No, this is a good one.
This is the one.
And this is a story, right? Do you know the saying, chewing the fat?
Good one, it's one of my favourites.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
Talking.
Right. Well, do you know where it came from?
No.
Right, what they used to do years ago, when people didn't have much money.
Is this the same as throwing the baby out of the bathwater?
No, it's not the, well, it's not the same saying, but
No,
it's...
but I mean, is it as wrong as that was?
Well, let me tell you, and we'll
Go
see.
on. Okay.
Like, people go out to work, and with the money, they'd buy food.
Oh yeah, go on. This is a good system. What? Go on. What do you mean? People go out to work and with the system.
And
Well, go on.
if you were quite well off, you might treat your family to some bacon, right? But do you know, like in these days, if people earn a lot of money, they might buy a nice suit or a car.
Yeah, so what are you saying? You're saying wait, let me get this straight. You're saying that you go out to work and get money to buy things to live, and if you get sort of enough money to live and you've got some left over, you might treat yourself on like a suit or a car or something. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
go
back then, if
Yeah.
they earned money, they'd say,
This is olden times.
yeah,
Okay.
let's get some bacon in, right? And what they'd do, they'd hang it in the kitchen
What, to show it off?
to show it off to all the neighbours and friends. Because if you had hanging bacon, it was like, he's doing alright for himself.
Yeah.
Some lovely bacon.
So they had loads of bacon hanging up, and people would come round, right? And whilst they stood in the kitchen talking about whatever they're talking about,
in olden times.
they'd say, do you want a bit of rind? And they'd rip a little bit of rind off, and whilst they're having a chit-chat,
Chewing the
they'd
fat.
chew on the rind.
Well, I think that's probably true.
And
I
so-
haven't heard that, but that one to me sounds true. Do you see the difference between that one and a man was abducted and grew a beard? Can you see the difference in
Yeah, but
why I
different-
accept that story?
Different stories for different things.
Different stories for different things. So, see, that's a nice story. If it's true, I don't know if it's true. I mean, but it seems totally possible, viable, quite interesting. I won't be quoting that myself until I've verified it. But that's, you know, I won't be telling anyone the bloke got in the car and he had a full-faced beard. Why has his car been towed away?
Because it was a quiet road.
Was it?
wasn't in the way. So,
Are you filling in the blanks again? That wasn't in the book, was it, that you read? See, that's the thing. Sometimes I think you make up bits of the story as though they were fact. That doesn't seem right.
well, that's all you can do, innit? So that's educating Ricky. Will we
Brilliant.
do that next week?
That is brilliant.
No, I think
Carl.
that was good. I did. I mean, I enjoyed that. I learned something from that.
I mean, I want to get I mean, this is all from one book, is it?
Yeah.
That's an interesting book.
With the, I don't want to dwell on it, but with the hairy Chinese kid, what did they say about that? What was the, I mean, was it, once there was born a kid who was slightly more hairy than everyone else, but yeah, it's alright, he only had a boil. How did they word it? How did this capture your imagination?
There was a
Well,
picture.
it was a picture that grabbed me, first of all.
Sure.
And it was like, God, what's up with him? And that's when I read it.
Did you see the boy in the X-Men or just the hair?
No, you see, because his face is like, just under his eyes is sort of nice and smooth, and his nose is sticking out, and that's not hairy. But the rest of him, it looked like he had the sort of a balaclava on or something. And then I read on, and it's like, this is a hairy kid in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay, good. Anything else in there? Because, I mean, I like
no,
that.
we'll do more of that next week.
How is that alongside, hanging bacon, alien abduction, a hairy Chinese kid, and, a little interesting fact about the derivation of a phrase?
What do you mean?
He didn't understand a word of that.
So, last week we started good sort of play on words that we had going.
Go on.
The well-known film Educating Rita.
Yeah. That's become, thanks to Carl Pilkington's brain, it's become...
I've tweaked it a bit, and now it's Educating Ricky.
Brilliant.
Right? And that was a new feature we started last week, if you weren't listening, where I teach Ricky stuff.
What did you teach me?
Taught you about that little Chinese hairy kid.
Yeah, you didn't teach me anything. You said there was a kid that was born that was slightly hairy than other
Taught
Chinese
you
people.
where the saying chewing the fat came from.
I enjoyed
That was good, that was interesting.
And,
And a man who had a beard because
And
he
a
was
man-
being abducted for 3 days. Again, that was rubbish.
Lest we forget.
That taught me more about you than about alien abduction.
but what happened last week is,
Go on.
we sort of talked about it all in one go. And you can't...
Whereas this week you've done what? You've spread it out over the show.
Well, I spread it across the 2 hours, because I always found that if you try to be taught too much in one go, you just can't take it in and it'll be wasted.
Is that your experience of school?
Yeah.
They taught you in 3-minute bursts.
yeah, and not every day.
Yeah.
Every other
when
month.
you felt like it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we're going to do, right?
So we've got Educating Ricky coming up. That's
Educating
exciting
Ricky across the 2 hours.
Okay, look forward to
and
that.
what I do is, I've made little headlines again, and you decide which story you want to go
All of
for
them.
first.
Well, give me the first headline.
No, not yet. We'll do that in
Well,
a bit.
give me a teaser.
Hang on a minute, I'm telling you what else. Right.
Right.
So,
Okay.
the way this works is,
What would you rather be, Carl?
I teach you
Superheroes.
3 things.
A frog boy, yeah, that you could leap onto a house, but you had to go blah, first and leap onto a house. You're this frog boy, right, and that could be useful, couldn't it?
That's very useful, yeah.
Right, Amploid, where you've got your hands and microphones, and you can talk into your hand and your whole body, it's like 100 decibels, you can go, "Oi, come here!" And people can hear you from miles away, Amploid, right? Right? Or Sado, right? And that means that you can go out to anyone and go, alright, and they don't know why, they just get fed up for the whole day.
Which of those would you prefer? Don't answer now, have a think about it. Have a think about it.
The frog thing, do I look like one, or...
No, you're just you and your little Ben Sherman shirt and everything, and they go, and people walk along and they go, "Oh, look at that young child on that roof, he's gonna fall, I wish Frog Boy was here," and you go, "Blah." And you go down, you go, "Blah," and they go, Here's him! And they don't recognise you when you're squatting, they go, "I don't know who you are." And you leap up there and say, and you come back and they go, "Where's Frog Boy?" And you're standing up and you go, "Dunno, he went that way."
Yeah, I'd probably have that one.
Would
Probably
you?
go with Frog Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay, go on.
Right, so, did that just go out?
What?
All that.
Go on, I've got a bad...
Hey, look, Rick, Carl's really planned this show. He's really worked out. He
Yeah.
came in early, he was writing things down.
And there's me
planning
just
it,
coming up with rubbish
and
like
you were
that.
just talking rubbish. So, Carl, I know you've been
Right.
thinking this through. What have you got?
So, Educating Ricky, we did it last week. It's where I teach you some stuff, but rather than just teach you something, I tease you, so you want to know more, so you want to take in information, right? So,
If only people had taught you like that, Carl.
And also, it's the name of a film, sort of,
Yeah.
nearly.
Coming up soon, Henry VIII and his, well, how many wives? Come back tomorrow, Carl, to find out.
the little headlines I've got to sort of tease you with the story.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt me and I'm not very well. Go on.
Right, we've got,
So this is what, sorry, I've just got lost for a minute there.
It's Educating Ricky.
This is Educating Ricky,
Yeah.
and these are the stories that these are the things you're gonna tell him.
yeah,
But these are just headline versions.
these are headlines,
This is not
because
the actual fact.
then I think people will remember things.
Okay, alright, so you,
do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
sort of bullet points.
Who can forget hairy Chinese boy?
Indeed, I shall never forget that.
Yeah.
So, first headline,
Ooh.
don't do that to it, you know it can't live without an head.
I've got no idea. It could be about the French Revolution, it could be about anything.
I know what it is!
No, you think you do, but...
No, it's something I taught you! Is it the fact that cockroaches can live for 9 days without a head?
That's part of it, but it's something different as well, that's why I thought we'd bring it up.
Okay, brilliant. So that's something to...
Next one, do you want to work it out? If only it was raining.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Go on.
And the last one, what's tomato with you?
What's tomato with you?
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
You're obsessed with puns, aren't you, at the moment, Kay?
It just works, I think it works.
Yeah. We love puns.
So, there you go.
So which of those are you going to choose, Rick?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to choose. Don't do that, you know it can't live without it. Carl. What's the story then?
Right, so what did you say you're going for? You've got your 3 titles, your 3 teasers.
Well, I think I'm gonna go for don't do that to it, you know it can't live without an head.
I'm looking forward to this.
Right.
So this is educating Ricky, for those that have just tuned in.
Now, something that Ricky told me about, when he was educating me, was that a cockroach, if you cut its head off, it lives for a week.
Yeah.
Right?
And the only reason it dies is 'cause it can't take on water.
Sure. It doesn't have a great time in that week, though, does it?
No.
I mean, it doesn't get much done, I don't imagine.
It just needs water, and 'cause it can't find any, like its eyes, it eventually dies.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
So what?
No, it's not, that's not, it's 'cause
Anyway.
it can't drink.
Anyway.
So, have you heard that one about worms?
Okay.
I have, go on.
If you cut a worm in half,
Yeah.
a lot of people have said in the past that it'll turn into 2 worms.
Right.
But that isn't actually true.
Okay. Who said that?
No, it used to be like, you know,
Kids at school
they said it on, kids at school and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, you know, a lot of people think that.
Don't pick him up on stuff, Steve, it's bad enough.
Sure.
So, but what they can do, if you get a worm, right, and you find out which end its head's at,
Right.
if you you've got its head there at the left-hand side, right, and if you sort of cut it in half,
Right.
but not in half, so there's more of its neck than the tail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bit that you've cut off will sort of die, and the rest of the worm will get better. So in a way, you can cut it in half, and it'll survive, but only one half will survive.
Okay.
Yeah? What have you learned there?
I wish you hadn't chosen that one.
I know, because it's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
You know that joke, how would you tell a worm's head from its you put it in a bowl of flour and wait till it farts.
Yes.
Right? I told my mate that, right, and he went, what if it coughs?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, there is a bit of truth in that myth of cutting one in half.
Where did you get this information? I don't understand where you get this
That
information
was from the Fortean Times. It was like the myth about worms.
Yeah.
That was the big article that week.
Did it take you as long to read that article as it took you to tell us just then?
I like the fact that it starts off debunking a myth that we haven't heard of anyway.
Exactly.
You know the big thing about cutting a worm in half and making 2 worms?
No.
Yeah. What's the other one? What's the other
It's not
headline?
the thing to do either, by the way. Don't go doing it.
No. It's not very nice. It's cruel.
But it can get by
and
if
it's
you do.
pointless.
Yeah.
There's no scientific worth
Yeah.
in that.
Well, there you go.
Okay then.
So the others now, you see
was the
what I
others?
do.
What
No,
was
I
the
tell you
others?
the other titles. You're not having them yet. That's the whole idea of this. People will be driving or about to go out doing the shopping. They'll think about that now.
What was the other 2?
Well, the other 2.
They won't think about that. They've forgotten
No,
that.
they will. They will.
No, they've forgotten that already.
If only it was raining. And what's tomato with you?
Right, you've
I'm
got
looking
tell
forward
us-
to that one.
No, you've got to tell me tomorrow with you.
Look what's happening. You see, you already want more education, and this is what listeners will be doing.
I tell you, I wish you were a teacher. I so wish you were a teacher.
Do you know what I mean? Kids would be saying, I know it's 3:30, but I don't want to go home, I want more.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing with you. I'm teaching you.
Why are
taking
you
in
teaching
information.
me things about not to cut worms in half and what's tomato with you? Please tell me what's tomato with you, Carl.
In a bit.
No.
In a bit.
Rick,
What?
I tell you, he's thought the show through. He's
Yeah.
teasing the audience. You're excited. They're listening.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's Educating Ricky Part 2.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I wasn't even listening. He's doing all the work, I wasn't even listening. Oh, and he spilled some water down that. Right, what's this one again then?
Right.
What's the teaser headline?
Teaser headline is, what's tomato with you?
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Go on.
How excited were you when you came up with that? You couldn't wait to come in and tell us, could you?
I think it's a good one because you won't forget it now, will you? I mean, like the worm one. What's so special about the worm?
You know, a lot of people think that if you cut a worm in half, two worms will grow, but no. What happens is if you cut the head end slightly nearer the tail than the tail will die, but the worm with the head will be okay. So, it's exploded a myth. Hamlet, taught me something.
Right, so, the second one, part 2 of Educating Ricky. What's tomato with you?
Yeah.
What this one's about is, ages ago...
It's scientific.
There's never a date. There's never a country, a location.
Okay, settle down, children. This is A-level history. Right.
Once upon a time.
Yeah. When a mental place with swords was a king, forget his name, but he was a loony. So, and it was literally ages ago.
Yeah.
So, good luck in the exam. Yeah.
Right. So, like, you know, alright, many years ago.
Oh, yeah, yeah, cleared that up. Go on.
They thought tomatoes were poisonous. Right?
Okay.
Because what
Hold on, are they going to be proved wrong at the end of this story?
Well,
Because I don't want to give away the ending, but is it something to do with the... are they poisonous tomatoes?
No.
Oh, you're having a laugh.
I don't believe it.
But,
Go on.
I could have been eating tomatoes all this time.
Oh, Steve, what's tomato with you anyway?
Okay, so hang on a minute.
What's
Let's just
tomato with you?
recap quickly. Many years ago,
Yeah.
when people thought tomatoes were poisonous.
Yeah.
Go on, yeah.
Well, they didn't know they were poisonous then, because they were still eating them. But what was happening
Well, they're not.
was-
But they're not poisonous.
Ah, but hang on a minute.
Alright, it's not, I'm just gonna listen. I'm not even
Okay,
gonna talk.
no, okay, I'm not going to tackle anymore.
So, if you remember, years ago, they didn't have, like, pottery plates. they had lead plates, right?
What are you talking?
Just let him talk.
Sorry, what year is this?
Let him talk.
Come on.
Plates made out of lead, and
Right.
what they'd end up doing, they'd say, right, do you want a tomato? And they'd go, yeah, alright. And they'd put the tomato on the lead plate and cut it, and because of the acid in the tomato, right, it would sort of make the lead runny, and the lead would go into the tomato, and they'd say, oh, it's lovely this, and they'd be eating it, they'd get food poisoning, lead poisoning, what have you, and they'd be really ill. So they thought tomatoes were poisonous, so they didn't eat them for many years.
And when
then
you say
someone said,
they, do you
this
mean the
didn't
people
happen.
of Narnia?
Yeah, this didn't happen,
Where was
Carl.
this happening?
Sort of in Britain and that.
You put him on the spot there. Oh, I hope there's no uppity pupils at this school when they go, what do you mean, sir? Oh, if you're gonna... Oh, I'm fed up with you.
Do you understand?
No.
So the acid,
No, you've got... No, right, okay, first of all, Carl, where'd you get this information from?
Where did I
14
get
times
that?
as well?
Do you know,
You can't remember.
I don't know where I got that from. I don't know where I got it from. But why don't you think that makes sense?
But, what? Someone once got lead poisoning from a tomato?
Not just one, loads, and then all of a sudden... No.
Why is this educating me?
Because I'm telling you that tomatoes, you
I
eat them...
can't take anything away from this.
Yeah,
I don't know what to take away from this. What have I learned? What have I learned? Don't mix lead with tomatoes. Why is this educational in any shape or form? What are you telling me? A long time ago in the land of Glunk, right, where the ninnies did slib, right, they thought tomatoes were poisonous because they ate plates of lead. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we all know tomatoes aren't poisonous.
Is that what we're taking from the story?
Is that the moral of the story? Don't believe these people that I'd never heard of before. What are you talking about, Carl?
I think it's a bit weird.
It's a bit weird, yeah.
These the same people that were spreading those malicious worm rumours.
My hangover's coming back. I've got to get some more.
We've got,
Go on. Hurry up,
educating,
quick.
educating Ricky, where teachers stuff.
Because you taught me that people used to eat tomatoes off lead plates in the land of Narnia last week,
that's
which was
what we learned
good.
last week.
Yeah.
No, what
Is
was-
it only tomatoes they ate off the lead plates, by the way? Why didn't they think other fruits and vegetables were poisonous?
No, it wasn't. It was because tomatoes had acid in them. That was the problem. You see, you don't listen, right?
Well, lots of fruits have acid in them.
Yeah, but they didn't eat them back then. they didn't have bloody kiwi fruit and stuff, did
Don't
they,
say
back then?
bloody. You're a producer.
Come on,
You'll start saying shit and cock and stuff. You start saying bloody
Tits.
Right, so,
Right. What is this? What are you doing now?
this is educating Ricky, right?
Oh, good. I'm going to look forward to this.
Three topics that I teach you every week.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I should just remind people, you normally summarise each of these in a kind of bullet point heading, which you tease us with. So
Yeah.
what have you reduced them to this week?
Right, we've got, Stocking, Aitken and Waterman.
Stocking, Ekin and Waterman. Good.
Yeah. What else have we got? We've also got, what else is it? It's not his vault. Yeah?
It's not what?
It's not his vault.
Okay.
Yeah? And we've also got, get a lobe of this.
Get a lobe of this.
Yeah.
Carl, they're genius.
Before we do educating, Ricky, this is where Carl thinks he can give me something of interest and teach me something to take away. Last week I found out that, somewhere in a strange land, people thought tomatoes were poisonous because they ate them with lead. Things like that. What was the other one you told me?
What else was it last week? Bit of worms. Cut me off.
Yeah. Oh, I sent him a text message. I was on the train, a bit bored, and I read in, I think it was Metro, scientists have found out that worms get stressed, and they found out that the fat ones didn't live as long, and when they checked the thin ones that lived longer, they found out they had a gene for de-stressing them. Right, Carl? What did you remember what you said?
No.
He went, well, that's stupid, isn't it? He said, did these other ones die of natural causes? I went, yeah. He went, alright. Because it could be that the fat ones couldn't get off the pavement quick enough and got squashed. So maybe the scientists go, yeah, we didn't... yeah, they come to think of it, they were flat as well as fat.
I think the reason that the worms are getting stressed is because people like Carl are cutting them in half to try and make 2 snakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two worms.
Well,
Yeah.
well.
That's the concern.
he said they can't even commit suicide if they're stressed by cutting their throat. I also sent what I thought was quite interesting, that the scientists have found that the elephant hasn't got the best memory. The sea lion has,
Right.
based on they've got a sea lion and they got it back into the old laboratory. 10 years after it taught it a simple trick, and it could still do the trick. What did you say to that, Carl?
I'd say they don't go up to much anyway, so if you do teach it something, it is going to remember it.
Sure.
Because it's got nothing else to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it also, I mean, I like sea lions, they look nice and everything, but what do they do?
What was that? Sea lions?
Yeah, what are they here for? It's another jellyfish, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, it's there and people know about them, but what do they do?
Yeah. What does
What
a
do we
cat
do? What do we do, Carl?
Well,
What do we do?
A cat, first, Steve said, is good for your heart. So you
Why is it all geared to what's good for us?
well... yeah, so that's,
Did you celebrate Bonfire Night? Is that a big celebration for you? Do you like the fireworks? I'm sick of fireworks. I just think they're rubbish. Sick of fireworks.
I'm not impressed.
I've never been impressed by fireworks. Even as a kid, you know, you'd have to go to, like, sort of community kind of gatherings with a bonfire and fireworks, and like, some local vicar or whatever would come out and...
But I
it
also
was
think the
just
adults think the
tedious.
kids love it, and everyone, and if they just got together and said, should we go this year? They'd all go, no.
Yeah,
let's not
absolutely.
Go. Let's not go this year.
What would be better is if the vicar had wheeled out like a massive rocket, climbed in, gone last one to the moon is a bender, and then fired himself off. Now that, I'd pay to see. That's a firework display I'd like to see. As it is, it's just rubbish.
Dear.
yeah,
That's
Is that your feeling,
excellent.
Carl?
yeah, I'm not keen.
No.
Sorry, what clue was that?
We'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Bone marrow. Bone marrow. Genius.
We've had a few emails. Anyone got it right, Carl? Anyone got it?
Ricky, educating Ricky, that's the final one. We've got to get that out of the way.
We've got to get Rockbusters as well, though.
We can do that at the end, we can wait.
Go on, then.
But we've only got 5 minutes left.
Come on, just do Educating Ricky.
Right. God. The last one that we haven't done is, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Go on, then.
Again, not really that interesting.
Thanks.
No, like, again, I spoke to you in the week, and I had much better things, like when I tell you about Brian Blessed climbing Everest, and for some reason it made him, it played havoc with his belly, and he followed through, and he had to clean up.
Shut himself.
Yeah, using ice and snow.
Why are you telling me that Brian Blessed, in what way is telling me that Brian Blessed shit himself once in any way educational?
Because I was saying how he was climbing Everest, right?
Right.
I give it to him, he's an actor and that, but he gave that a go.
Yeah.
Right? He played...
What's the point of that, you'd say, wouldn't you?
You'd say, God, he's, you know...
Oh, so he's alright. Me doing a boxing match for no reason is rubbish, but him climbing Everest and shitting himself...
Yeah, he did that.
is commendable.
Right, and he's only gonna, like, go and do it again. He's gonna climb it again.
Yeah, but he might not shit himself this time.
Yeah, but what's the point in going? Nothing's changed up there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
What you been?
Well, it has. They've probably cleared it up by now. Like, but, it's slip on it.
I can't even be
Go-
bothered telling you this one, because...
Come on!
To be
Just
honest-
do it, or do it now!
Steve, how we doing?
Look, no, never mind that. Look, just tell me what that means. Oh, he's a nuisance. Oh, this is so annoying, Carl. I'm gonna go mental.
Right,
Talk.
right, listen, I'm just putting
Right.
this in here, right? Right, nuisance is a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the old fella who used to hang people.
1800s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to be able to tell somebody's weight just by looking at them. Right? That's a bit of a bonus fact.
We'll be the judge of that.
The thing that I wanted to tell you
Yeah.
is, money for old rope, do you know what I'm saying? I can't even be bothered.
Yes, you're gonna tell me now. Come on, Carl. I mean it.
Basically, money for old rope
Yeah.
came from the, right.
What was all that about? He can tell someone's weight. What was
It's a
that
bonus
for?
fact.
And blind blessed shitting himself. What are you? What? No, no, tell me that now. You nearly made me swear. Then, I'm getting really annoyed. I'm getting really annoyed now. Tell me this back, Carl, or I'm gonna go mental.
Come on, Carl, time's running out.
People years ago, when people used to be hung, right?
Right.
If you didn't like the person who's been hung, you'd go, God, I really don't like him, and so you never forget the time.
Presumably
when
if they're being hung, we take that as read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so they never forget afterwards to get the hangman to get the rope and to cut it up into little pieces, and he'd sell them. He'd sell the little pieces of rope to people. And
See,
they'd go,
Carl, that's the most interesting thing, if it's true, that you've come up with.
Right, okay. And so so they sell the rope?
they sell the rope, and it's money for old rope.
Money for old rope.
Meaning, like, you know, God, it's easy to make money, that all they have to do is cut it up and sell it.
Carl Pilkington in the chair now. The talked about the acclaimed Educating Ricky.
Right, well, just in case anyone's new, doesn't normally listen.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm educating Ricky.
Yeah.
Do a bit of research in a week, find stuff, news, history, anything that's interesting. 3 stories, I give them a nice little headline. You take your pick.
Yeah.
Between now and 3, you're going to learn 3 things. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, the headlines are, I'll be no buying one of them.
Give us that again.
I'll be no buying one of them.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
Creamy.
We've also got, Hippopotamus News.
Okay. Okay.
And, Can You Believe It?
Can you believe it?
Well, I'm
it's
going to
your
go
choice,
for
Rick.
Hippopotamus News.
Hippopotamus News?
Hippopotamus News.
Right, well, this one, it's, I'm not going to take the credit here. I heard Christian talking about this on breakfast, right? Because it's a good story that happened. Basically, I don't know if I told you about it last week when we were having our spaghetti. But,
I think you did.
Right,
I
is
know what it is. I know what this is.
Okay, I've not heard this.
right, there's a little midget. Right, there's a circus.
I'm loving it already.
Circus going on somewhere. I think it was in America. And,
Is that present day or old times?
I'm talking, like, in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right? Little midget, circus, really packed out show, people are loving it.
Steve, you'll ask the same question I did, I know.
So there's a little midget jumping up and down on a trampoline.
That's what a circus is.
Right?
I'd pay good money to see it.
So everyone's clapping, and he's getting carried away.
Because he can't believe they're loving it. I didn't know they'd like a little person on a trampoline, but they love me.
But you know what it's like when, if there's a crowd of people sort of encouraging you to sort of go higher and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knew it was getting out of hand. But he was jumping and he was coming down the road going higher, and he's going really high in the air, right? So he's doing this, crowd are clapping. There's a hippo, right, just sat next to the trampoline, getting ready to come on and do his act.
Oh, right, I thought he was in the audience.
Getting ready to do his act, Steve.
Yeah.
So
He's a ventriloquist.
What do you mean he's sitting by the trampoline waiting to do his act?
Because it's
Why does he sit in the dressing room and they go, 5 minutes, Mr. Muss, 5 minutes, Mr. Muss.
So anyway, right, so the hippo's there,
He's getting annoyed, is he? Because the midget's
He's
eating
going,
into
how
his
can I
tongue.
follow this? How
Yeah.
can I,
He's
this is
probably
really
thinking,
annoying. They're gonna be,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
no.
so
He's thinking, he's already done the trampoline, my pogo stick act is never gonna work.
Yeah, go on, so there's a hippo waiting. See, it's a great story and I just know he embellishes it or he gets slightly wrong. Go on.
So
there's a midget jumping up and down, the hippo's getting annoyed, he
The
wants
crowd are going mad, the
crowd are going
midget's
mental.
loving it, can't believe his luck. Although you think he probably knows he's dicing with danger.
Yeah. So, next thing you know, they're all saying hi. He gives it one big, like, heavy sort of landing on the trampoline, goes really high, but goes off at a funny angle.
Oh.
Hypotenuse.
Okay.
Yeah. And sort of flies up.
Hypotenuse! Sure.
Flies off at a funny angle.
Ooh, dear.
Hippo's there, swallows him whole. Crowd are clapping, thinking that's why the hippo was waiting there.
Rubbish. Rubbish.
It's not rubbish though.
But no, maybe there was an accident in a circus with a midget and a hippo, but at no point was this hippo waiting to go on, going, come on. The midget flew off at hypotenuse and landed in the hippo's mouth and was swallowed whole. This is what you embellish it. That is great. And what's
I
that?
have to say though, Rick, when I heard midget, trampoline, hippopotamus, I was thinking accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
maybe? I mean...
It is that you should never put those three together.
Never.
It's a recipe for disaster. Everyone
textbook.
knows that. Midget, trampoline, hippopotamus. Are you mental?
You're asking for trouble.
Well,
You know, when he told me it, he said, and the midget, he didn't mention the hippopotamus, and he said the midget went on, and soon he fell off, and the hippo ate him. And I said, sorry, what was the hippo doing there? He went, it's a circus.
I've never heard of a circus having a hippo.
What do hippos do?
What can they do? You can't train them, can you?
What do you
Aren't they, like, very deadly? They're huge, aren't they?
You can't have a hippo in a circus.
are you sure?
You're not thinking of Zippo?
He's neither clown.
Yeah. No, and it wasn't some sort of where Zippo was eating a midget and it's some sort of horrible sexual act.
No, it was definitely. I heard it on breakfast, right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's definitely fact.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
definitely
right,
truth.
okay, good. Well, let's play a record then.
So,
I'd like to play a classic Springsteen. We're all fans of Springsteen there. This might be his debut album, I'm not sure. Greetings from Raspberry Park.
I think it is, yeah.
New Jersey. And this is Growing Up. It's great, it's classic. Educating Ricky, part 2. Right, what's the clues
Right,
left?
well, we've got left the headlines. I'll be new buying one of them,
Yeah.
and we've also got chicken. You believe it? Chicken, you believe it? So they're the two that are left. Which one's you going
Right.
for?
Chicken, you believe it, is not that picture, is it? In that we saw?
Which picture?
The bloke with the...
No.
Right,
no.
okay.
God, that was bad.
Right, okay,
right, so
I just better explain
We
that.
can't really
but-
discuss this on air, can we?
Well, we can. Steve brought in, Carl, the best book ever, which is, what is it?
I found it when I was moving house. It's an FHM publication, and it's kind of like lots of grotesque pictures and stories, and like the book of a book of freaks and weirdos and
And
grotesques.
Carl opened it, and the first one was like...
At the back, I
At the
started
back.
from the
Well,
back.
you couldn't believe your luck, could you?
What was
as
it?
soon as
What
you opened
was number 50?
a bloke with two heads.
And he said, what's number 1?
Yeah.
And then number 6, there's a bloke who's a squid or something.
Octopus.
Yeah. yeah. He's loving it. At number 1, he said, well, it's just a fella under a rock. And I went, oh no, read on, I think I know about this. And it's the fella that was found, he caused a landslide while having sex with a chicken. And they pulled him off, and there he is, the chicken owner.
Right,
So Carl
so-
could not believe his luck. So it's not that.
Chicken, you believe it?
I'll have that one
You're
then.
going for that one?
Yeah.
Right, well, we've talked a lot on the show about,
We've talked a lot on the show.
Yeah.
about animals without heads.
We haven't! We haven't! We talked about cockroaches could live without a head for 7 days.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and then of course there was the the well-known one about the fella who had his head cut off, and he
blinked
He said
in
to
his
his
head.
mate, "Count how many times I blink when my head comes off."
Yeah,
Was that
as you,
one?
when you told it to me, you said his head came off, and he said, as his head was in the basket, he said, quick, count how many times I blink. And it was Nick Frost that had to go, no, Carl, no, he said it before. I went, and that was lovely. So, yeah, we've talked quite a lot about things, heads coming off. Go on then.
Well, this one,
Yeah.
right? Back in 1945.
You looked up the date.
Got a specific date. Wow.
Mate Jonathan sent this one, you know him as well, the lad at the BBC, right? He emailed this one in, so thanks for that. Chicken, it's called Mike.
There's a chicken called. Sorry, I missed a bit there. There's
yeah,
a chicken called Mike.
chicken called Mike.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened was, it was living on a farm, right? loads of chickens knocking about, and the owner of the farm is like, you know, getting ready for tea, and his wife says, go out and get a fresh chicken, 'cause my mum's coming round. So he thinks, well, I want to get a good one in, 'cause I want to impress her, 'cause back then, even then, they wanted to impress the mother-in-law and that. So they said, alright, I'll just nip out and get one. So he sees Mike, chicken, running around.
Is this during the war or after the war?
1945, I'd say that was after.
No, ended, well...
It ended in 1945.
Yeah,
Okay.
September, go on.
So, chicken's running about, he thinks that one, that looks alright, I'll have that one.
Mikey.
So he picks it up, and he cuts its head off.
Oh.
Puts it on the block, cuts its head off, runs about a bit, like they do. He thinks it'll stop in a minute. Keeps running about. Oh, what's going on here? Right? He's now, like, chasing the chicken without an head.
Yeah.
He's saying it should die in a minute. Anyway, doesn't die. Chicken's walking around with no head. Lives for 18 months.
Yeah.
Chicken with no head.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard this story before, Rick, and the explanation, as I understand it, was that certain vital cords, spinal cords, weren't severed when the head came off, so that was why it continued to live.
Yep.
I don't know if that sounds plausible.
It's fine, absolutely fine. How did it take on, protein and energy?
The fella who owned it, he said, well, hang on a minute, he said, I could kill it now.
But I've got a wonder chicken here.
But he's thinking, it must really want to live.
Sure.
Right? If it survives that, they've sort of got something here.
Yeah.
So he, what he does, he gets a little, eye droplet thing that he used to use on it. Obviously not anymore, right? And he filled it with grain and water, and it had a big hole in its neck where its head used to be. And he,
Incredibly.
and he dropped...
You know what, there's, I mean, that is possible then, if it, you know, without
heard this,
infection,
Rick, to be fair.
without infection, if he's taking on things, it is possible, right? Why?
Why what?
Why did he do it? How cruel is that? I mean, that was not cruel, because the chicken obviously, you know...
He said if he thought it was a bit fed up, he would have killed it. He said, but it was running around quite happy.
Well, it wasn't fed up at all, because it had no brain.
Well...
What do you mean, well?
I'm just saying what...
It was nothing, it was just sinew and nerves and electrical impulses breaking down energies, right? That's all it was. It didn't have a brain. So it was, but I'm worried about the psychology of keeping a pet without a head. I'm worried more about what the farmer was thinking than the chicken.
I tell you this, what the question I'm asking is, was the mother-in-law impressed? I mean, that's why he set out, that's why he set out to shot Mike's head off.
This is lovely, but it's just the head where you don't kill a chicken like that all at once.
I thought we were having chicken for dinner. Come and look at this, running around the yard.
Yeah! Oh, dear.
So, there you go, you've learned something there.
Yeah, I have learned something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, one more...
That farmer, I've learned that farmer was very strange indeed.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have to say, to be fair to Carl, I have a feeling like when I read it, the reason he kept it alive was as a novelty. He got charged people to come and see the incredible headless chicken called Mike.
Right.
So, there we are.
That's great.
So,
Educating Ricky,
right,
number 3.
final one. You've had hippopotamus.
Loved
You had chicken, you believe it, and the last one is I'll be no buying one of them.
I love that one.
Right. Interesting one. This. I mean, I spent probably 3 days looking for this stuff. Right. And another one that I came across. Right. And I was going to use. I was a bit like,
great life you've got.
I was just, you know, going on the internet and that, and I also, looking magazines, found a story about a bloke who, I don't know, he's messing about with a chainsaw and he's
I don't know, let's know the chainsaw. He was juggling a midget, and, whilst taking his alligator for a walk, and, go on.
and his arm, come off, right?
Come off! What do you mean his arm come off?
The chainsaw took it off.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's like, oh.
Again,
Anyway,
He's going, oh no!
Oh.
so, there's a picture of him on an exercise bike, sort of just with a little stump sort of balancing, but he's getting on with his life, he's happy and everything's fine, he's not complaining, it's his own fault, he's got no one to blame, right? So anyway, he goes to the doctors, and the doctor said, I can do something there. So he goes, well, it's alright, you know, I'm getting by alright, don't worry about it. And he goes, no, we've got an arm in, right? We can attach that a real arm from someone who's, I think they'd passed away or lost an arm or something. And,
They lost an arm and didn't want it back.
yeah, he went, I'll have it. Are you using that? No, because I know someone.
Because I know a bloke, actually.
Yeah. Well, can't you just put this one back on? Wow, it's first come, first serve, really.
I was just building a bionic man. We've replaced one arm with a robot's arm, so we got a spare one.
So the doctor's going, let me put it on. He's like, well, oh, alright then. So they do,
Ungrateful bastard.
so he does the operation, right? Everything's fine. He's loving it. He's happy again because he said he can brush his teeth.
Right, okay, if this is gonna be
He's
something
loving
like...
it again because now he can brush his teeth.
Right, if this is gonna be, and it was a leg, or
No.
it was a chimp's arm,
Or it was the arm of a killer.
It was 2 left arms, right? I'm going to kill you.
Oh, let's leave it then.
What is it? What's the answer?
No, it's not that. I'm just
What
messing.
is, okay,
Right. So he says, go on and do it. So he sews it on, and like I say, he's happy. He's brushing his teeth. He can have a pint in the pub. He's lifting a pint with it. All his mates are happy for him. It goes on for about 2 years. Everything's fine. Then it all starts going flaky.
Oh, I knew it would.
Was it made of chocolate?
All right. So it all goes all like gammy, and then for some
The arm
reason
starts going gammy.
it goes gammy, and it gets longer.
Of course it does.
So there's a picture of him, right, stood in the magazine. He's stood there with his arms by his side. One arm's normal. The other one is like past his knees. It's he can pull his socks up without bending over.
So
It's
is this going to
really-
be they gave him the arm of an 8-year-old child who would have been the tallest man in the world?
No, he just said, oh, what am I going to do? And the doctor said, oh, there's not much we can do. And left it.
Wait a minute, you can't
That's
leave
not
it
a
there.
story.
So, Carl,
That's not
You've
a
got to
story.
tell us the explanation.
What
Was it an incredible plastic arm? An incredible expanding arm? Did he fight crime later?
No.
Well, that's the end of the story. You've got no scientific explanation as to why...
That's why I didn't pick it.
But you just told it to us anyway!
Yeah, but I'm just saying the sort of knowledge I come over when I'm looking for the good knowledge. Yeah?
So that
Why did
hasn't
his
even
arm
made the
grow?
list.
Why did this arm grow? He must have had an adult arm. They couldn't have given him an arm.
I don't know. It's just one of them.
It's rubbish again,
It's
isn't
not...
it?
Well, I don't... It's an interesting story, but you should
It's
have
not, and it's rubbish.
But you
It
should
didn't
have read to
happen.
the end. There was photos.
Yeah.
But you should have read to the end of the article, Carl.
No, I did. And he said, you know, he's not happy and he wishes he wouldn't have had it done and all that, and, you know.
Are you sure this wasn't entirely unexpected?
No, seriously, he was saying, you know, his teeth are nice and clean again because he could brush them and that, but his arm's getting in the way. Ruining his shirts and everything. So leave that.
Let's play a tune. Let's come back with the next one, because I love the fact that this is like Ronnie Corbett telling one of his jokes. That's Ronnie. That wasn't even the story. He was gonna tell it.
Well, Carl, that's about it. And we got sidetracked on the last Educating Ricky. You telling me about a man whose arm grew.
Well, something went wrong. I'm not saying it grew, just saying.
What? The rest of him shrunk?
It went long.
It went long. What, is that growing now? What do you mean it went long? Did it grow, or what? Did it come loose?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, so it was hanging by a thread which made it look long.
Yeah.
Within the skin.
It's like how you can stretch a pair of tights if something is too heavy or...
Arms are very much like tights. They are very much
So the
like
one,
tights.
the one that we didn't get round to on Educating
Yeah.
Ricky was, I'll be no buying one of them.
Go on.
Are you familiar with the saying white elephant?
Something is a white elephant. Yeah, I don't think so.
Hold on. You phoned me last night and said, what does white elephant mean? And I told you.
Yeah, I know, but I know where it came from, but I just was wondering what it was about.
So how, in what way is Educating Ricky you calling me up and asking me something?
Well, do you know how it came about?
You've given away some of the secrets of the show there, it would appear. I didn't realise he was phoning you for information.
Well, you just asked me what the term white elephant meant in sort of like colloquial...
Did he say, why are you interested, Carl? No reason.
No, go on.
Well, what it is, ages ago when...
So what do we understand white elephant to mean?
Well, some of that's useless, that's like a bit of a, you know, you know, something that you wouldn't want around that's just stood there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Carl.
So years ago, when people used to use elephants
Years ago, go on.
When people used to use elephants?
Yeah,
Go on.
more than they do now.
Right.
than they do now.
This doesn't involve a midget, does it?
So you know, they'd use them in the workplace and stuff. To sort of-
Yeah, as factories.
sort of,
Yeah.
To move stuff
Tea
around
ladies.
and that.
Yeah, security guards.
Yeah. Can't trust them with the buns, though. That's why they stopped using them.
Oh, God, go on.
So there was loads of elephants knocking about, and the thing is, right,
You couldn't move from.
if you have a lot of something,
Uh-huh.
you also have a lot of demic ones, don't you?
A lot of what?
You know, sort of demicky ones that aren't right, really.
Demicky.
Well, you know, like, they weren't properly. They weren't...
They weren't properly.
They weren't
Sorry,
demicky or
what, Carl? What are you doing?
Right, I'm getting to the story. So what I'm telling you is...
They were a bit demicky, so they weren't
Basically
properly.
what-
Have you started making words up?
Right.
Yeah, you Stanley Unwin.
Listen.
Reincarnated.
Demicky?
Yeah.
There was a lot of albino elephants knocking about.
Where? Where is this?
Olden
times.
Africa.
Yes! Should we say Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If an answer's got a question mark at the end, I'm not
Well,
sure
it's
an
either
answer.
Africa or India, but I'll give you a clue. Well, these elephants, do they have big ears or little ears?
I didn't sort of notice the size of the elephants. What I noticed is they were white because they were albino elephants.
Okay.
Right? So, that's why they're heading, I'll be null buying one of them.
Okay.
No, right.
So, what would happen is people who didn't know what they were doing, like, you know, you get people making a mistake buying cars that are full of problems and that. Back
Yeah.
then when people were buying elephants, they'd go up to someone, say, I'm after an elephant, and the fellow would say, yeah, I've got one here for you, this is a nice one. And it was all white and stuff, and it had, like, blue eyes.
You should never trust a used elephant salesman.
It was just this elephant that's white with blue eyes.
Right?
This is great.
So,
Yeah.
so a fellow who didn't know what he was doing would buy the elephant, and he'd get it back, and it'd be all sort of lazy and stuff,
Oh,
and
the
we'd
worst
be doing the
kind, yeah.
stuff. And he'd say, what's up with this? And his mate, who's a bit of an expert with elephants, and go, oh, where have you bought that from? And he'd say, oh, I got it off that fella, and he goes, oh...
All this embellishing nonsense he does with the story.
You shouldn't have bought that. So he goes, why? And he says, it's only albino, isn't it? And he's like, what does that mean? And he said, oh, it gets tired. It's not that good at doing work and that. You shouldn't
It
have bought
steals
it.
from you.
But elephants back then were like a god. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't say, oh, I'm sick of this, then I'm going to abandon it or anything, because elephants were seen as like pretty high up on the chain of things. So they'd end up being stuck with an elephant, that's an albino,
Yeah.
couldn't do much, gets tired, basically gets in the way. So they said, that's where they're saying, like, you know, but a bit of a white elephant there.
What do you reckon, Rick?
I feel like I haven't been educated. I feel like I've lost something. So at that time in my life I can never get back. I feel like I've sort of been soiled, and I don't know where to start. I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And all that rubbish around. Look at his little face.
Well-
What was that? All that shit about a second-hand elephant salesman and his mate knew about elephants. What is it? What are they? They had blue eyes. What are you?
Well,
Albinos have red eyes for a start.
oh, that's it, we've run out of time.
Oh, what? I mean, what are you going to do about this next week? Are you going to actually do some educating next week? And what about Rockbusters? Are you going to make the clues proper cryptic clues?
Well, that's the teaser, isn't it? That's what we'll leave them with.
Will it be any? Oh, I need some learning. I need some knowledge, Carl. Educate me.
I might be able to help you.
Go on.
We've got 3 things, as always. I'll give them a little heading to tease you as to which one you want to learn first.
Yeah.
First one is the tip included?
Is the tip included?
Like it.
Second one, I want to come here in hindsight.
I wouldn't have come here in hindsight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third one, am I gonna have to thump you?
We're gonna have to thump you. Okay, and
we're
you've
gonna
trawled,
have to-
what, the internet?
So so if I can get into the mindset of this plan, is the tip included? Well, obviously, that's probably not going to be about a weight. It's going to be if that's someone losing the end of his knob, I assume. Am I going to have to thump you? That's a man who lost his arm in a fight, but then picked it up with the other arm and smacked him with it. What was the middle one?
I want to come here in hindsight.
Hindsight.
Heinz site?
It's someone was blinded by baked beans.
Sure.
So what are you going for then?
I think I better go for, am I gonna have to thump you?
Right, well this isn't... I've been struggling again, to be honest with you. Searching high and low for stuff, and some of these I had to leave till this morning.
Right, because there's just not enough knowledge out in the world, is
Not
there,
much
that
is
you
going
don't
on.
know about?
I found out about something in the week about a guy who, was playing tug-of-war.
This is bonus material,
He was
isn't it?
playing tug-of-war.
Oh, his arm came off.
Only his arm come off.
Yeah, he got caught up in the rope, yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't get caught up in the rope, he just was trying that hard and didn't want to lose. He kept
But
holding
he
it.
allowed his arm to be pulled off.
He really wanted to win. And
Well,
the other
no.
team, the other team pulled it and his arm come off.
No.
Well,
I don't know who to believe.
Well, think about it. If he's gripping,
yeah.
as soon as there's tension, like the arm coming out of the socket, the hand might release. I think his arm got caught up in the rope. And so it was involuntary, as opposed to him going, well, my arm's coming off, but I'm not gonna lose this! You might be
Anyway,
right.
that's
but,
the fact.
that's
you're
a
not gonna tell
bonus,
us.
that's a bonus fact.
Yeah, well,
That's educated me.
Well,
A man lost his arm? Oh, interesting. Go on.
I'm gonna have to thump you.
Yeah.
Do you know the saying, shut your face?
Oh, is that
Yeah, I've heard the well-known Shakespeare, innit?
Do you know how it came about?
no, Joe Dolce.
No,
Go on.
It's, ages ago.
Oh, yeah, literally, literally.
Like, knights who wore armour.
Okay,
That's, armour gonna have to thump you, that's how it came about.
okay, armour.
They wore all the stuff, and they had the helmet, and say if they're guarding something at night, stood outside a castle or something,
Yeah.
and there's probably gonna be two of them, right? So they stood there talking and that, and, talking about stuff, and
The future.
Sort of,
What-
yeah, medieval stuff.
one of them's like, oh, we should shut up, you know, I've been stood here for hours, and he's going on and on.
Yeah, sure.
So he'd say, shut your face. Meaning, shut the guard down on your helmet.
The visor.
And I can't hear you then.
Uh-huh.
So shut your face.
Shut your face.
And that's
Okay.
that's how it came about.
Well, I suppose
God,
that's...
it would be interesting if I could just rely on it as
I'm
a-
not sure it's true,
I
yeah.
know, I just never know. I can.
It needs to be corroborated.
It's like, I don't know where he got it from, but anything via Carl is precarious.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe you should give us your sources next time. You know, tell us where
I know,
you
but I'll
got this
tell you.
information from.
Got it off the internet.
Yeah, but where on the internet?
I can't remember where that one was. I mean, I always go through like the news pages and stuff, and I came
This
across-
news should be updated because they've only reached the 17th century, which was last week with people eating tomatoes off lead
but then
plates.
I look at news and there was stuff about a woman who was in a shop and she, I don't know, they had some workmen in doing the shop up, and they had some wood glue left out and she asked for some pear juice, and then the guy went and thought the glue in the thing was the pear juice and she went and drank that. But that's not really news.
No.
So I thought, well, we're not
Really
having
anything.
that.
I wish you hadn't told us.
There was one about,
So there's some poor woman now whose tiles have fallen off because she tried to put them up with pear juice.
yeah,
See, that's the danger of mixing up pear juice with toxic glue.
yeah.
Your wallpaper and your tiles and everything just fall down.
There was
Be
also,
careful, everyone.
Be
Please.
careful.
there was something about, kids having hamburgers, it makes them fat.
Hamburger.
Hold on. What? Having food with high fat content can make you put on weight?
Yeah.
Don't believe it. You're an idiot. What's the
So-
next one?
let's play a tune,
No,
let's play a
well,
tune.
You've
We'll
still
come
got
back.
to come, you've still got I Want to Come Here in Hindsight, and you've still got Is a Tip Included.
Carl just, said to me, here's something. You can't hold your breath to death.
Have you tried it, Carl?
It's just another little lesson.
There's someone here who's in a really low ebb. They've been listening to the show, they were going to commit suicide.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just started holding their breath and thinking, oh, screw it.
Well, what did you learn in the week, right? I'm always doing all the educating. I asked you were talking about watching a programme about jellyfish.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that'll be interesting. I'll try and find some stuff out, but I couldn't find anything that I didn't already know about them.
It must be difficult for you to find anything you don't already know.
So what did you learn about jellyfish?
I agreed with you by the end of it, that they should be wiped off the face of the earth because they're balls of water in membrane, right, that go around stinging people to death.
Yeah.
Let's lose them, Carl. Let's lose the jellyfish. Yeah?
That's what I think. Because I was stung by one. Did it, you know?
Oh, you got stung by one?
I was on holiday and got stung by one.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
No,
don't
you're
understand
not,
them.
not a fan of them.
So that's that.
Good. Well, that's sorted out the jellyfish conundrum. We've solved that particular worry.
Right then, so, take your pick then.
I asked him if he could have any animal the other day. Did I ask him on air as well?
Don't know.
Off air, he said, I've got it down to 2. Right, and this was, he said, what favourite animal we're looking at, or could I own one? And I went, you could own one. And he went, right, but could I own one, or would I have trouble? I went, Carl, you've got all the expertise, you can just have it in whatever it needs, and you go down there, he went, right, and I won't regret it and get fed up. I said, no, Carl, just what animal, if you could have any animal, what animal would you love? He went, I've got it down to 2. I went, what is it? He said, either the rhino or the hippo.
What's your logic?
Well, I don't know, that was then. I mean, ask me tomorrow, and I might have 2 other favourites. Do you know what I mean? When was that?
A couple of weeks ago. When was that? Well, you were there.
Yeah, but, you know.
What are they today? Quickly now. First animal that comes into your head.
Quickly now, any animal I want.
You could have any animal in the world.
Right.
From one that's maybe extinct, anything you want.
Right, I might have, just for today.
Just for today.
I might have a scorpion in a little box.
A little scorpion in a box. What's your thinking?
It's the chimp every time. It's the chimpanzee or the gorilla.
No. But, have I told you that programme about the scorpion? How they all help each other out?
Right. Scorpions all help each other out?
No, this is brilliant, right? Somewhere in the desert.
Okay.
There's these little...
In the desert.
It's like these little monkeys that are underground or something. And there's holes.
Is this Beneath the Planet of the Apes? The 4th in the series,
Are they talking apes?
Oh, forget it, actually.
No, and you've got it wrong anyway. They're not monkeys.
There's little monkeys under the ground. What are they doing down there?
They're
Toiling in some underground mines?
They're lizards, if you remember, and the lizard goes to sleep, and the bloke comes along, you've told this, and
we've done it, alright.
Monkey from monkey, that's what happens in his mind! From lizard to monkey! Oh, evolution would have been so much easier if Carl was around. Turn it into a monkey, I'm fed up with the lizard.
Just promise me once again, Carl, I've asked you before, promise me you'll never have children.
Go on, right, okay.
Right, what are you having?
What are they again?
Is the tip included?
Yeah, go on, that one.
Right. In Turkey...
Nice.
It's not, actually. That's where I went, and there was them little fellas after Suzanne in the kitchen.
What? What do you mean?
We went to Turkey.
You went to Turkey and there were some little fellas?
Well, they had quite a few sort of midgets working in the kitchen.
Why? Is it a theme?
No,
was it a theme holiday?
I don't know. Might get them cheaper or something.
Was it
So they were working
cheaper?
They were working in the kitchen, and one of them fancied Suzanne and kept sort of eyeing her up, and she was winding me up saying, "Oh,
not eyeing up and down, just eyeing her up."
Fancy. Anyway, no. So
what was she doing in the kitchen?
No, it's like a pick what you want to eat type buffet, but you have people clearing the tables and that ready for you to come along.
Are they low tables?
And you know, he was just keeping an eye on her.
What did he say though? Was he?
It was Turkish, so I don't know what he was saying.
But he was a
little fella, yeah.
Did he?
What do you mean a little fella? What do you mean little fella?
Sort of dwarf-like.
What do you mean dwarf-like? He had magic powers, or he was 4 foot?
No,
what do you mean, Carl?
A little bloke, just like a normal bloke, but small. If you stood him in the desert, you wouldn't know.
But he'd be hot and thirsty. Right, Carl.
You should watch out for the monkeys.
Yeah, underground.
There's underground monkeys.
Look, you can't just say there was a little midget fella who was eyeing up my girlfriend and then leave it. What do you mean? What was happening? This is a story to us. This is much more interesting to us than, and she was deaf, right, and she hit her head. That's much more interesting.
I don't understand how it manifested itself. Did he come over and say something?
No, do you know when, it's like girls know, don't they, when someone fancies them?
What do you mean there was lots of them as well?
Do they? That's worth knowing.
Listen, right, come on, right.
Downstairs.
And you looked over.
You thought, this is odd, there's no one serving.
Yeah, and they go,
wait a minute.
Hold on, you look down, and there was a little waiter.
There was loads of them running around busy.
Why, though? Why did they get
summer?
What do you mean?
Because it was in summer.
They had more of them
They come out in summer. They come out in summer.
What do you mean they had more? What do you mean?
Because it's busy, isn't it?
No, but they hibernate in the
why
winter.
were they all midgets?
I don't know, maybe it doesn't heat stunt your growth or something?
No!
Well, they just happened to, maybe it was a thing that they did for tourists or something, I don't know. I just got on with my meal, it was a holiday, do you know what I mean?
God!
Right,
so some midget serving, I'm not going to ask any questions.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they're all little fellas running around, and this one always was like, you know, oh, do you want a new serviette? You know what I mean, going out of his way to sort of...
for turning on